Even in all, it's Operation Blue Ice Pecker attempt number 1. So, been doing the Sansha's event, not having much luck, as you're about to see. It kind of all goes wrong, but then again, that's kind of what the point of the video is, I guess. The event itself is kind of stupid, really, because it's the same scenery every time. There's not enough white storms. Is that what they're called? White storms. Need to be careful saying that. And I think my kind of approach to it has been, the 14 Tengus is a bit much. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, admittedly, but but then this happened.
Seconds later.
Yeah, that sucked. Utterly sucked in the middle of a battle. Luckily, auto-fire missiles continued firing, so this thing died while I was basically logged off. So, attempt number 2. So this is where it gets a little bit more serious, because we only take the 4 Tengus this time. And to be honest, it was fun, actually. I kind of enjoyed it. I think the kind of Sanchas are tougher, aren't they? Post in the comments, have I got that wrong? Are they a little bit more tougher than usual? Because, I've got in fights with small kind of angry people who turn out to be incredibly tough like in the pub, and you think to yourself, right, they're a walkover, and then literally you wake up in A&E with missing a few teeth, and you're like, how did that happen? It doesn't make sense. This is what I think these Sanchas feel like. They're a little bit kind of mad. I imagine they've ramped them up a bit. Fun fact, I actually was, I'd walked into one of these white storms to take a picture for one of the thumbnails that unfortunately we have to do with this YouTubes. And I walked a single Tengu in, and I was literally scrambled and immediately almost ganked by, I think it was about 5 to 6 frigates, maybe more in fact, but my God, they hit hard. So my Tengus are pretty well tanked. And they hit harder than your first date when you call her by your girlfriend's name. But there we go. It was good. I think I've managed to kind of get the cut of these sites. The loot's pretty good. It's not great, but it's okay. And I think most of it, I just quite enjoyed the content, really. I've been actually running the CEO one, so the Nighthawk, the kind of tank, the FC, for want of a better word. I've been running that with full graphics enabled, and that's been quite beautiful. So I've quite enjoyed that, actually. I think one of the nicest things about this event is the kind of ambient effects. It's quite nice. A little bit of snowstorm and so on. I think that's it, really. The loot is not particularly to write home about, but also with the kind of achievements, I've not really bothered with them. So like warping in and doing mining and things like that, I probably should do it, content, etc. But I've got to admit, part of me just can't be bothered. I think that's my kind of frustration and problem with this game, is I do love it, but if they ask me to do anything one remotely iota outside of my comfort zone, it's going to be a big no from me. I can go and blow things up all day long, quite happy to do that. You want me to mine for 20 minutes? You can sod right off. And I think that's probably my problem, is I just don't want to do it. But yeah, look on graphics enabled at high, it's pretty pretty, isn't it? It looks pretty nice. I quite like it. I think it's weird because the snowstorm effect doesn't work if you're looking at another ship. That's an interesting bug, but I do like the way they've done this. But there we go. Successful attempt number 2. Drunk with power and success. Obviously, this now enables my downfall, because this is where we start to kind of take risks. No, I'm joking. Nothing happens. I don't lose the ships. I was a little bit disappointed it was the same scenes again. I think by this point it wasn't attempt number 3, it was attempt number 20, to be honest with you. The amount of times I actually found an empty white storm can be counted on one hand. So you're pretty much seeing what you see. But I mean, often I would warp in and there'd be a group of dudes already running it. I didn't want to I'm not that kind of player. Post in the comments, do you get that kind of douche lord that would actually kind of start shooting and taking over the base, or rather the event? What do you call it? The instance. I don't really want to do that. Probably could, because let's face it, 14 Tengus are going to resolve the conflict quickly, is the nice way to say that. Running with 5 or 4 Tengus and 1 Nighthawk, still a huge amount of fun. I think actually you could honestly multi-box with 2 or 3 characters and still have an immense amount of benefit. Think about the Nighthawk. It's effectively got The gang links on it there's 4 links. One is for speed, so you get, I think, some. I could be wrong. Again, I'm not prepared as always because I am literally a clown's car of a channel. But the afterburner I think is about 20% more effective. But then you have shield boost effectiveness, so the duration is reduced. So that's obviously a benefit. You have shield hardening sort of bonuses, I think like 20% there as well, so less 20% duration, so that's good because you're cycling more. You then have hardeners are 20% higher, I think, so if you have 60% it becomes more. It's not, because it's obviously a scaling percentage, but it's still very good. And the other one is the amount of shield you have is also extended as well. So if you just ran a command ship, and it takes a bit of like training to get into, FC5 is no joke, but it's equivalent to Titan 5 in my mind. But anyway, you could spend the time getting at least Wing Commander sort of 5, because you need that before you start Fleet Commander, by the way, sorry to break it to you. But if you spend the time and get an ult into that position, the dividends it pays I think are quite good. So definitely worth it, I think. Worth considering. But overall, then you have effectively a huge boost to your ships once you put them in a fleet and you have all the right links. Again, you have to run things like mine links. Mine links aren't cheap. Again, I do admit there's a bit of capital lay out here, but it's probably worth it. And I think my kind of view of that kind of thing is, if you then just run a gang of like 2 ships with that, shield tanked, whatever, Tengu's, Ravens, or armor tanked, because you can obviously get gang links with armor as well, then you're in a better position than you would if you just ran solo. And I know solo's easy, but I do recommend trying some of the multi-boxing. I guess it comes down to the simple fact is, if you've got only alphas, then you can't do this. But if you've got omegas and you're not using them all the time, you could argue, and again it's just an argument, that there is a lack of efficiency of your ISK or money outlay there. By having, if you have 3 accounts, all of them Omega, you should be trying to think, how can I then go and do like level 4 missions or ratting or mining or whatever it may be, even exploration, and get a benefit from the investment you're already putting in for these accounts. So even in, mining's an obvious one. Even missions are an obvious one, combat, whatever. But things like exploration you could also do. You can actually run 3 systems and do them at once. But anyway, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that quick video today for what is New Year's Day. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2025.